All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Thomas, and I am a zoo educator here at the Detroit Zoo. And welcome to the Detroit Zoo's first live chat of the year. So today we are going to be talking to Tami, who is a associate curator of mammals here at the Detroit Zoo. She's going to be talking to us about one of the residents here at the zoo who can actually take these freezing cold winters without any qualms or anything about it, which are the Japanese macaque, or commonly known as the snow monkey. So make sure that you add your questions to the comments and we will be sure to answer them as we go along here. So let me pass it over to my colleague here, Brad.
Awesome. Thank you, Thomas, so much. Before we hop in, like Thomas said, any questions, put them in the chat. I'll just go over a couple quick snow monkey facts before we dive in more with Tami about the troop that lives here specifically at the Detroit Zoo. So the Japanese macaques, like Thomas said, also known as the snow monkeys, they are a not threatened or endangered species. They're actually protected in their home range from hunting. So in the wild, they're doing pretty good. They are actually the furthest non-human primate that lives north, right? So they live in the coldest areas of any primate, which is really non-human primate, right? Which is really cool. Their lifespan, they can live from like 25 to 32 years of age. They're omnivores, so they'll eat a little bit of everything, right? Just like humans, they'll eat small animals, insects, fruits and veggies, seeds, barks, anything that they can kind of find. And that's just a little bit about the snow monkeys. So I will pass it over to Tami, our associate curator of mammals, and we can dive in a little bit more about these snow monkeys that live here. So Tami, first of all, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. I can't tell you how much I adore these monkeys. So talking about them is very easy for me and I enjoy it very much.
Absolutely, I agree. So first question, how many Japanese macaques live here at the Detroit Zoo?
Here we have 9 macaques. There are 2 males. One is the dominant male, Haru. He's the father of all of the youngsters. And there's a little 9-month-old youngster named Umi, who is a male as well. The rest are females. So 7 females, there are 5 adults, and then there are 2 young females that are sisters. So all in all, there are 3 youngsters, which as you can see are kind of rambunctious. They're very active. They're a pleasure to watch. And then the adults are kind of in the forefront there in the video. And I think they're getting some snacks right now from the zookeeper, which is always fun for them. And so you have a dominant male, 5 females, and 3 youngsters. Their names are Haru and Umi, as I said, for the males. And the 5 adult females would be Griffin, Laura, and Madeline, who are all 20 years old. Laura is 16 years old and Carmen is 19 years old. So they're in their high teens, all of them, relatively the same age, not super elderly and not super young. So kind of middle-aged ladies, and they're all very beautiful, as you can see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I know a little bit about snow monkey like group dynamics, but maybe for our viewers, they don't. So can you tell us a little bit about maybe the individual personalities of some of the snow monkeys, or maybe their group dynamics in general?
Absolutely, it's very interesting. This type of monkey has a dominant male who would be breeding with the females. His name is Haru in our case, and he's amazing. He is very serious when it comes to looking out for his family, but he will be pretty goofy and play with the kids a lot. He's a great babysitter. He's a great dad. He enjoys, chasing the kids, and the kids groom him. And then those females, they sort of have more clout if they have babies, if that makes sense. So Carmen, for example, who has 2 children, 2 daughters, so that would be June and Hannah. You can see, right there, we'll cut for a second because you can see a youngster grooming her mom, which is very amazing. And they learn that behavior from their parents. And she's doing that to keep the skin healthy. She's doing it to create a bond and be with her family. This young female, she's going to have more clout in the group because it's called a matriline. And a matriline is when a female has a group of kids and they kind of make a section of the troop that is strong. They're very, important. They're important to the male. They have a lot of, clout in the group, if that makes sense. So it's kind of neat. We have a female named Madeline who had her first baby named Umi. He's the little boy. He's 9 months old. And Madeline's position in the group was lower. But boy, when she had that baby and he's super silly and running around, you can kind of see him in the front there. Now her clout has risen a little bit because she has a baby and everyone wants to see him and play with him and enjoy him. You can see him right there. He's super cute. He's kind of looking for stuff. Look at his, and it's cold for us, but they are very comfortable. Look at him. He's just comfortable as he can be, playing and jumping. Their fingers and toes are really furry, but they are comfortable -20 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. They are so hardy and just
I was reading that they can handle like negative degrees, like this temperature. Like this is probably it's probably balmy. It's not so bad for them.
Yeah, it's 33 or something, and you can see they don't appear. They're not shivering. They're not hunched over. They're having a great day. And the little one there that jumped up the tree and sort of shook it, that's really neat to watch because that's a behavior where he's a young male, right? So he sees his dad go up on the tree and shake it, which is sort of like, look at me, I'm in charge and I'm so tough. So even though he's a little pint-sized thing, 2 pounds, he's doing that behavior, and it's really cool to watch that.
Very, very cool. Thank you so much, Tami. Yeah, it is fun to watch and kind of, you can move quickly by the snow monkeys, but if you stay and watch, you start to see these different dynamics play out, and there is a lot going on there that we might not know, right? So it's really helpful to get that insight of kind of how the hierarchy works and how people, move up. And I like what was it called? The matriline?
A matriline. So a matrilineal society. So it means my mom and me and my sister, we are important because we're all together. We sort of have this little group within a group that is, we get groomed the most, we get the most attention, we, have a very strong bond, and it's neat to see. And like I said, you could be low down, have a baby, and then all of a sudden you're the coolest, right?
The ranks.
For sure, which is really neat to see.
That is awesome. Okay, so before we open it up to any questions that any of our viewers have, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Do you have a favorite fun fact about Japanese macaques or anything else that you would like to share about Japanese macaques?
I do. If you can kind of see, they're walking over to the right and they're on the ridge of that area. We call it a hot tub because it's not a hot spring here at the zoo because it's man-made. We've provided that in their habitat for their welfare. But what that is basically like a hot tub would be. It's really warm water, and they will bathe in that water when it's super cold out, especially the dad, Haru, the male that I talked about before. And because he does it, his kids see him do that. They watch him do that behavior, and you'll see those little guys go in that water, and they just kind of hang out like it's a spa day. Their skin gets conditioned, and they have fun. So if you're lucky enough to come to the zoo and be able to observe that behavior, it's really cute, and they just look like they're having a ball. DZS put that feature in this habitat specifically for snow monkeys. I mean, it's something that they learn to do, they enjoy doing, and it's unusual. And I really when I catch them in the hot tub, I just love that. It's the best.
Yeah, that is one thing I remember reading about snow monkeys is that what you mentioned, like they learn that behavior. Snow monkeys are cool because they've observed like snow monkey cultures, right? Like one troop of snow monkeys might do one thing where if you go to another troop of snow monkeys, they might be like, we don't go in the hot tub, but the ones, and I agree. When I do see them in the hot tub, makes my day. It's really, really
Doesn't
cool.
it? Yes.
Oh, yeah. All right. So thank you so much, Tami, for answering some of those questions. Thomas, do we have any questions from any viewers? Any guests?
Not any questions at the moment. So if you guys want to add your questions to the comments, we will.
If you can see right here, the grooming that's going on, that's 2 youngsters, and they're grooming each other. So you'll see she'll be doing it a little bit on the back, then she might stop and pause, and then the other monkey will groom her back. And Well, you can see she's not really getting anything off the skin. She's not really doing, she's just sort of rubbing her back, if that makes sense. And that's just creating a bond and really making those two have a strong relationship. And it's really nice to see that. It has to feel good, right? When somebody,
Right.
you know, rubs your hair or your back, it feels really good. So for them, they're just enjoying each other's company. And I mean, if they find a little something, maybe some, you know, honey got stuck in their hair or something, they'll pick it off. But a lot of the time that's just to create a bond, and it's just really fun to watch.
Well, we do have one question from Mary. She's asking, are there any babies expected this spring?
We have a breeding male and females in the group, a couple of them that we are allowing to breed, and we are okay with them having babies. So there are a couple of females here who we have in a breeding situation. We don't have a way to tell right now if they are pregnant or not, but expect us to update in the future and maybe have some videos of youngsters this spring. So hopefully we have our fingers crossed. That would be amazing. And we're looking forward to finding out.
Then we said Umi was born this past spring of
Yes.
2021.
Yep. So he's 9 months old. And he is so fast. Boy, he can get from the bottom of that rock to the top in just a couple seconds. He's really, really fast. He's great to watch.
And they grow so quick. I feel like, you know, 1 week they're holding on to mom. And then, the next week they're sprinting, they're running around and on their own.
That's a great point, Brad. These monkeys are very quick to develop. Well, you might see a baby gorilla. The Cleveland Zoo just had a baby gorilla that I saw. That little baby will be holding on and sort of helpless almost for, oh geez, more than a year. And these guys, in a few months, they're just climbing up the rocks and breaking open walnuts and all kinds of things. So it's neat to see that.
We also have another question. So do they sleep inside at night?
They sleep inside and outside. They're given the choice. So they have lots of choices in their environment. We let them go inside or outside, but boy, I'll tell you what, they prefer outside. They prefer to be up high. They like that sort of sentinel position where they can see all around them. But when you check on them at night, which I've done before, you'll find little groups, like maybe a mom and her babies sort of in a little group huddled, and maybe around the corner will be another couple. So they do kind of sleep with their little subfamilies, if that makes sense. But I think they prefer outside more than inside. It just depends on, you know, their mood, I guess, for the day.
Right. Well, if there's not any other questions, I think we can probably wrap it up. Is there anything else, Thomas?
Nope, that was about it.
All right. So I wanted to say thank you again, Tami, for taking the time out of your day to talk to us about the snow monkeys. Like you said, you can't help but love them. They're cute. They're fun to watch. They're interesting. They're unique, right? So we really, really do appreciate taking the time out of your day to answer these questions for us.
You're welcome. And if people really want to see them in person, they're not that common in zoos. So it's not like you could go to just any old zoo and see them. So we're privileged here at the DZS to have these monkeys here. And if you can make it out, it's one of those animals where you can come any day of the year, even in the rain, the snow, the hot weather, and you can see them, and they will be having a monkey party out there. So come on out and check them out.
Thank you. All right, well, we will see everybody next time for our next live out at the zoo. And we just want to say thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.